What is good? This is the DailyXander number 12. I have just woken up and it is currently, boom, 5:30. Getting in some work right now, so I'm just starting cooking breakfast and my lunch for the day. And I'm going to practice going over a quiz that I have for tomorrow afternoon at NPTI. So just trying to be productive as usual. One thing I want to add is last night I got contacted by a student who goes to the university that I attended back in Sydney, Australia. And I've actually never met this dude, but he's a PhD student back in Sydney, Australia, and he just had essentially questions regarding what can he do what can he do for exercises and mainly fitness kind of paths he can take based off him having a herniated disc. So he has some issues in his lumbar spine from what he messaged me with, and I leaned more towards like trying to push him towards somehow seeing a personal trainer in Sydney, Australia, just because it's not really much I can really do, obviously, just over messaging. It's something be better to be first-hand to offer advice with something for such a sensitive area, which is your back. So I told him that, and then of course he said college student. I totally get that he has a really limited budget, so he can't really afford a personal trainer, especially in Sydney, Australia, which is one of the most expensive places to live in the world. Stuff's not cheap by any measures, so I mentioned to him I'd be more than happy to do some form of a voice or video call to just kind of offer some advice and see what's most realistic for him to do. So I found that pretty interesting that he kind of sought me out essentially. So pretty neat. But yeah, I'm gonna start making my breakfast and lunch here and start studying. So I will see you in the next installment of the DailyXander number 12. What is good? It's about roughly 3.5 hours since I last filmed, and just showed up to class early for NPTI to get everything set up, good to go for the kettlebell class, and I'm looking forward to doing it. So let's get it going. What is good? I am just back from another day at NPTI. Very successful group workout session with me and my partner Abel that we ran a group kettlebell class, which kind of consisted of breaking up the class into 4 different groups, which they then had to go through an entire circuit of doing particular kettlebell exercises, and then after that we put them through group kettlebell relays. So it was really fun competition that we had, and all in all people had a blast. So that's what you always want out of stuff like that, is just people working out safely and also having fun at the same time. So all in all, real good experience. Today we finished up the rest of our talk on training a pregnant client and just dealing with the proper paperwork that needs to facilitate the whole process, as far as whether or not you can actually train that client, or if they're actually capable of being trained because of their physical shape with being pregnant, and all the contra indications that go along with that, meaning should exercise be administered or not be administered based off certain physical traits that they would show during the whole semesters of the pregnant process. So yeah, just got back. I'm probably gonna just do like a little half-hour little break, as far as kind of take a little mental break, which that mainly just consists of watching some type of YouTube format. Primarily I've been watching a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk's Daily V's, which kind of inspired me to call my videos the Daily Xanders. And the Daily V's consists of him having a cameraman follow him around throughout all of his daily business activities he does throughout a day. And this is a guy that's highly successful. I would call him a high performance person, the elite of the elite for the most part. He's an entrepreneur. He owns Vayner Media, and yeah, it just really showcases how hard he works to get to where he's at. Essentially puts in at least anywhere from like 12 to 14, 15, sometimes 16-hour days, just what he calls hustling, nitty-gritty. He does a lot of interpersonal communication. So he's either always on the phone, always in meetings, bouncing back and forth. So it's just, I get a lot out of it from the standpoint that I learn a lot as far as seeing the work ethic you need to put in to be successful, and just knowing there's lots of different ways you can approach tasks to be successful. So that's kind of I guess you could say my leisure, relaxing kind of videos I've been watching lately, but it's also very educational from the standpoint that it's visually stimulating, that I learn a lot from. So it is on YouTube, of course. There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube, but at the same time I try to watch stuff that can return some type of value to me while I'm watching it. So that's what I'm going to do for the next 30 minutes. Next update will soon come in the next couple hours. Check in with you then. It's good. I'm just going to end my Daily Xander right now. It's about a couple hours since the last did a little filming, and I'm actually going to go to sleep extremely early this evening. It's right now 7:15. I was doing some studying and just found myself almost slightly dozing off, so I'd rather go to sleep right now, wake up early, and then get those 3 to 4 solid productive hours in before I go to class tomorrow morning, rather than just kind of go through the motions right now. So yeah, I'm in my Daily Xander number 12. As always, enjoying the process. I feel like every day I'm getting slightly little more comfortable just being able to express my thoughts just right on the spot in front of my phone, essentially, when I'm filming. And yeah, that's kind of the whole goal of what I'm trying to do, just being able to figure out all what's going on in my head and being able to translate it into words and sentences and phrases that make sense and represent what I would like to get across. So yeah, that concludes number 12, the Daily Xander. As always, peace and good night.